Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope your morning is off to a great start. It is still snowing here, and it hasn't stopped yet. I think we have roughly 2.5 feet of snow. I haven't been outside, obviously. I'm wearing short sleeves. But I wanted to bring this topic to you guys this morning because this is something I'm super passionate about. I have worked in direct sales for the last 3 years, actively working and growing a team over the last 6 months. That honors where I'm at in life instead of fighting against it. And I wanted to share on this topic because it's something that is super near and dear to my heart. What every spouse of a woman in direct sales should know and understand. I think that when we hear direct sales or when we hear network marketing, we get a little, because there are so many people that have done it wrong. But for every 10 people that have done it wrong, there's one woman that has done it really right. And I'm not saying it's just women, but from my perspective, women, because I'm a woman in direct sales. And here's the thing. A lot of times when women start a direct sales company, it is because they need to fulfill some kind of need. I am a stay-at-home mom and wife, and when I went from working every single day, 40, 50 hours a week, to being home with a tiny human who could not communicate with me, and my tasks every day were laundry, dishes, and wiping butts, it was very mentally challenging for me. I am someone who has always enjoyed working and has never been afraid of a challenge. I love it. It's me. I've got a very go-getting personality, but not everybody's like that. So when I started this, I was in a place of need. I needed something for myself that I could say, I did this. And it's not because I'm not appreciative of what my husband does. So please don't misconstrue that at all. I am super grateful for what he does with his job and the way that he provides for our family. I'm so blessed, like absolutely so blessed to have the opportunity and the freedom to grow my business at my own rate. I've had 2 kids over the last 3 years. And as we all know, postpartum can really mess you up. So it's been a blessing to be able to take it slow and learn as I go. I don't have a background in business or network marketing. I have very little experience with social media, minus what I've learned over the last couple of years. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I can't reach them.
They're in your pocket.
I can't reach them.
Go get the ones downstairs. Here we go. We don't need, no. Go. I've had very little experience versus what I forced myself to learn. And that's what a lot of women do. Especially if you go from working in a corporate setting to working from home with kids. You got to figure out how to make it work. And I won't say that there's a perfect balance, but there is a little bit of give and take. So I work during nap time. Technically right now is nap time, and it's supposed to be quiet time, but that's not necessarily happening. So I work in the pockets of my day when my kids are asleep where I have that quality quiet time where I can focus. So if your wife or spouse is thinking about doing direct sales or network marketing and she's told you about it, there's a reason why. Sometimes it's just because she wants more products for a cheaper price, but sometimes it's because she legitimately has a need that she wants to fill, either to be valued by other people that are not related to her, to fulfill the need of serving others outside of her family, because she wants to be an influencer and she wants to share her experience with other people, because she wants to not feel guilty about having to ask for spending money. That was a huge thing for me when I got started. I didn't want to have to ask for money outside of our budget, because when we got married and we had our first baby, we were on a pretty tight budget. I didn't want to have to ask for money. I felt super guilty about it because I didn't feel like I had money of my own. Granted, we're married, so what's his is mine, but I still felt guilty about that because I'd always brought in money from my own hard work. And here I was feeling awful about relying on him. And I know that's not the way that it's supposed to be, but that is how I was hardwired to think. And so every time I had to ask for something a little bit extra, I felt really guilty about that. He didn't care. And oftentimes he would tell me he didn't care. Just ask. But it's the asking part. There was a lot of pride there that I didn't want to, give into. Maybe she is passionate about making an impact in some way. I might have said this already. For me, I've always known that there was going to be something a little bit different about my life. I've always seen myself speaking on a large platform, but being someone who struggles with social anxiety, you can understand how that's a little bit different. Also, being a stay-at-home mom, I was like, well, how's that going to work? Because I'm here raising small children. Like, I can't be traveling everywhere or doing these things. And I had no idea, still don't, how that would ever happen. I don't know if it will happen, but I just know that's the vision that I've had for a really long time. So here's the deal. She's either going to do it with you and tell you all about it and include you in on things, or she's going to do it by herself and she's going to exclude you, and there's going to be lots of fights. There's going to be lots of, miscommunications. There's going to be lots of things like that. Because if a woman is passionate enough to start a business from home, something that takes a lot of time and energy and sweat outside of her other duties in her home, raising children, keeping up with the household, she's going to be determined and held it. And I guarantee the more that you fight her on it, the more that she is going to fight for it. That's just how women are wired. Maybe not all women, but that's how I'm wired. So support her or don't. But I can guarantee you, if you say, you know what, if you want to do this, let's do this. But set some guidelines, set some boundaries, set some priorities. Y'all sit down and have the conversation. If you really want to do this, this has to make a return on investment. You have to bring in at least enough to cover the products that you're buying every single month. And that was it for us. I had to serve at least 3 people a month, which would cover my Shakeology, and a little extra. So at first it was paying for a tank of gas, and then it would pay for some groceries, and then it started to be able to pay for a credit card bill every now and then it started to be able to do other things. But that was a priority that we set in the beginning. Did we still fight about it? Yes, because creating quality connections with people in order to get them to trust you takes time. And that's the other thing. Statistically, it takes 3 to 5 years for a small business to be established and prosperous. A lot of people don't have the patience to stick around for the 3 to 5 years because things are going to happen. Life is going to happen. Illness is going to happen. Job loss, whatever you can, having children, whatever you can throw at it, it's going to happen. And those things take a little bit of focus off of your business, which is to be expected and respected. But it takes 3 to 5 years. You've got to go into opening a business with the mindset of it's going to take me 3 to 5 years. If I'm diligent and if I'm consistent over time and I build trust with people and I have good customer service, then maybe that'll speed up a little bit. But for people who have no social media experience, have no in-person experience, have no idea what they're doing, 3 to 5 years is a base start. So go into that, have that conversation with her, be like, okay, so this is figure out what the business vitals are to move her business forward. If, like I said, if this is something she really wants to do, have the conversation, get detailed. And if she's not willing to talk about the details, maybe she's not serious about it. And that's okay. Some people aren't. Like I said, some women come into direct sales and network marketing with the mindset of, I just want my products for cheaper. That's totally fine if you can afford it. Now, when I started coaching 3 years ago, we couldn't afford Shakeology every month. So I had to make sure that I was covering that with the work that I was doing. I was also going to school full-time to finish my bachelor's degree, and we just had a baby. So you have to see how the juggling game went on there. So according to Forbes magazine, 3 to 5 years is the normal rate for a business to grow, to be prosperous, and to be established. That's when a lot of people are established by the Better Business Bureau, because it takes at least 3 to 5 years. In that 5-year span, how has your customer service been? How has your business, grown? Those kind of things. And this is another thing that I found really cool. Never enjoyed statistics in college, but I really enjoy it now. A direct sales company or independent rep could yield a 6-figure income in 3 to 5 years. In 5 to 10 years, you could be bringing in $1 million a year, but your business moves at the speed of trust. If you are not building quality relationships with people, and I'm speaking to the women here, you're not building quality relationships with people, if you are just selling products and you're not building any kind of customer base with people and getting to know them and knowing their needs and getting to know their family and getting to know their life, they're not going to be repeat customers, and you're constantly going to be hustling to find new people, and that's not what you want. No, not right now. And that's not what you want, because that is, it's nap time, baby. That is not going to establish you in 3 to 5 years. You're not going to have actually moved the needle forward, because you're constantly going to be hustling for people. And when your business starts to build, and you start to build that trust, and you start to build those relationships, you start to build a team. And the whole point of direct sales and network marketing is that you build a team that can do exactly what you do. Duplicability. Can't say that word. You are able to be duplicated by the people that are on your team. That's how you grow. That's how you expand. So if you come into network marketing thinking, I'm just going to sell these products and it's going to be great, that's not how it works. I mean, it does technically, but that's short-lived. That does not last for 10 years. And I see myself what I'm doing in 10 years. Will it change? Will it look differently? Probably. But you have to believe in it enough to see yourself long-term. It's a conversation you continually have to have. As you become a business leader and a team builder and a team leader, that the conversation has to evolve. Because now I'm having to do team calls. I'm having to spend time doing team trainings. I've also started a blog, but it's within the realm of my priorities that we set together. It's within my time frame. So I say on this day and this day, I have team calls at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Can you take over bedtime? Now, sometimes that doesn't always happen, and I have children running in and out of my office while I am doing calls. But we have that conversation. These are my designated days where at 8 o'clock, he takes over bedtime. I'm upstairs getting prepped for my call. If I have to guest speak on a call, I talk to him about it first, because it's something that's going to impact our family life. My family and my faith come very first in my business. It has to be a priority. So it's become a priority that I only work during nap time, which is typically 9 to 11 when Reese is at preschool and Embry's napping, and then 1 to 4 when they're napping again. And then I close my laptop, I walk out of my office, and it's family time until 8:30 or 9 when the girls are in bed. I can check my email again if I need to, or check in on my groups, which I love to do. And then I'm done. And I don't engage in my social media again until the next morning once Reese is off to school, unless I get up early, get my devotion done, and I choose to share that. But it's all a part of the conversation. And what I would say to husbands, based on the conversations my husband and I have had, do your part. If you can afford for your wife to stay home and she doesn't have to work, and maybe it's just cheaper that way versus childcare, that was it for us, and with traveling with his job in the pipeline. But we can afford for me to stay home, and it's not a financial burden for us to live off one income, not at all. And so I just asked him. I asked him one day, because we've been fighting about it, and I said, what's the difference in me staying home and making a little bit of money doing something that I'm already doing, something that can go towards paying off my credit card debt and my student loans, little at a time, versus just doing it anyway and not making any money and it coming out of our pocket every single month? What's the difference? And he thought about it, and he was like, well, I don't really know. I'm like, okay, well, if you can give me a legit reason why it's not good, I will absolutely step away from it, because I honor and respect him as my husband and his decision. I honor that. And I said I would step away from it. And he thought about it, and he was like, okay, there's no difference. There's no difference. He was like, I'd rather you be happy doing what you do, because he sees how much I enjoy it and how much better I am and focused and excited and just content than when I'm not doing it and when I have nothing else to do. And because I did take a month off, and I sat around and I did the basic things that I normally do, but I wasn't happy and I wasn't excited about anything. Coaching women on business and health and fitness and helping them make changes in their life fills me with so much joy. It's not even funny. Not even funny. And it allows me to enjoy the things that I do every single day, because I know that I'm working within my mission field, which is being a wife and a mom, and being able to use that to share with other women how I'm able to take care of myself and take care of my family and teach others how to do that. It's incredible. I love it. But if you are going all in on this with her, you see her dream, you see her vision, sit there, figure out the compensation plan together, map it out, and say, okay, this is how much time you're going to have to spend. This is what you're going to have to do. This is this and this is that. My husband's a numbers man. So I have him sometimes look over my account and say, okay, what could I do differently? He's looked over the compensation plan. He understands it. And he is very numbers oriented, where I am not. And so we talk about that. And we talk about, okay, this is what you need to be doing the first part of your business in the morning. And this is what you need to be doing less of. He takes assessment over all of those things and gives me honest feedback. Everybody needs that. If it's organization, help her stay organized. Create systems for her that are going to make her life easier. I use Google Drive because it's just easy and I can access it from my phone. If it's just support and encouragement and maybe helping her with a load of laundry or doing dishes on nights that she has calls or she has other things, do that, because it makes her feel like you respect her and what she's doing as growing a business, but also raising your children. Know that she's not doing it because she doesn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. It's not that I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I did. I just didn't know how to fulfill that need to serve others while I was home. And now it's come something that is able to pay our mortgage every month or to pay off credit card debt or, whatever. It fills in the gaps when he's not working. I can continue to pay for things when he's not working. And that's a huge blessing. That is not something that I take lightly because, what if I had never started 3 years ago? What if I had never started investing in myself? Where would we be? And I'm not saying that, whatever. I am saying, I'm super blessed by the business that I run. I'm super blessed by the people that I get to serve every single day. And I'm super blessed by the people that follow me, even if I'm not working with them, because support is support and it matters all the same. When she feels like you're on board, she's going to open up and make you a part of it. This year, 3 years into my business, is the first year that my husband and I have ever sat down and ever talked numbers, ever talked vision, ever talked dreams, ever. We've been together almost 10 years, and this is the first year that we've ever gotten to that place of open communication because I feel like he supports me, and I feel like he's starting to see that this is what I want to do, and this is something that fulfills me. No, I'm not necessarily using my college degree in a corporate setting, but I function better at home. I function better on my own time frame. I function better when I can stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning creating things for my team and for my groups because it's just how I function better. And I love that. And I love that he's finally understanding that that's how I work. This is me. Let's just embrace it. Let's run with it. But those are the tips that I would give you for spouses of a woman in direct sales or network marketing. See her vision. Talk to her about it. Do the math. Have the conversation of, if this is what you want to do and we can't afford it right now, this is the stuff that you have to do. Because I promise you, if I'd had that conversation 2 years ago with my husband, things would have been a lot differently. I would have taken my business more serious, number-wise, versus just doing things the way that I did. But also take into consideration what life is like right now. If you have kids, she may only be able to dedicate an hour of work a day. If she needs someone to watch them so she can do a little extra work after they go to bed or before they go to bed after dinner when things are getting cleaned up, offer that. We know that y'all are tired too. And I tell my husband that all the time. I know that you've had a rough day. I know that you're tired too. And I continually tell him how much I appreciate him because I do appreciate all of the things that he does and all of the support that he offers me. I can't say that enough. I respect his job. I respect how he provides for us. And I work as hard as I do because one day I want to be able to offer the same to him. One day I would love to retire him and let him play golf all day, every day, if that's what he wanted to do. I want to give him those things. And that's something that I keep in the forefront of my mind whenever he does, take over and does dishes or cooks dinner or whatever. One day I'm going to be able to repay you for the hard work that you put in for our family. Have the conversation. Be open-minded about it. Yes, it's weird. Yes, you might think it's a pyramid scheme, but look into the compensation plan and see what it really is. But that's the best advice I have for you guys. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Bye, y'all.